This anime season review contains adult language, mature situations, silly series, insane concepts, weird releases, and somewhat witty banter. Listener discretion is advised. Aloha, konnichiwa, buongiorno, and what's up? This is your host, Xan.
And Gretta.
Saying what's up for www.spiraken.com. Some podcasts and varying reviews about kinetically enhanced narratives, which can be found at www.spiraken.com or iTunes or Spotify or Apple Music or whatever social media site you're using, including Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter. And we are here because we got something fun to do, because this is our interesting new Spiraken Anime review episode. Yes, I know we haven't done one in a while, but we're going to be releasing one because we did something a little bit different. We've been watching winter anime for 2019, and we've, well...
been loving it.
We've been loving it, surprisingly. There's been so many great series, so many weird series, so many dark series, so many series which are, why would they create this? And we're going to talk about a couple of them. Shall we?
Hello.
So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. So let's get started, shall we? So, beforehand, remember if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at Xan, that's Xan, at Spiraken.com, Spiraken.com. And if you disagree with us, comment in the show notes or comment on Facebook or Twitter or Tumblr, whatever you see us on. Because we've gotten some interesting titles and some weird titles, and we're going to go over them in kind of a weird order as opposed to going in like alphabetical order or ones we think top 10 to 1. These are just some of the ones which we've enjoyed and have felt have been noteworthy for anime 2019. Because it's been a really unique year, but the big thing is the focus of this year. What would you say would be the focus of the shows this year? Was there anything really like overly... I mean, was there anything really big? Was it like isekai stories? Was it sports stories? Was it just strange, weird things? Was it just all remakes and sequels?
Technically, like, josei. There's a lot of josei stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of josei stuff. There's some which are just questionable.
There's some that are supposedly josei stuff that are not.
Yes, they're totally not.
Because, yeah. Reasons.
Naked Girl with a different director every episode. Now that's gotten weird because apparently one of the directors for that show turned out to be a pedophile. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that show. No. So, yeah. So, one of the first ones we're going to talk about, let's get with one of the fun ones first of all, because it goes all over the gambit. But one I didn't expect to see was there's a harem series this year. And it's...
A what? A harem series, you say?
Yes, and not a usual harem. Well, there's 2 harem series this year, which was kind of big. And the fun thing is that they're each 2 different demographics of harem series. One is a girl harem series, and one is a boy harem series, and they go to 2 different lengths. And one is based on a manga. We're fine with that. The other one is based on a really weird visual novel game. The 2 ones we're talking about are Meiji Tokyo Renka and The Quintessential Quintuplets. 2 completely different shows, but they work, kind of.
And I love them both.
Greta loves them. And if you had to explain Meiji Tokyo Renka, how would you explain that series, the plot?
So the girl, who's a little bit different than all of her friends, she can hear things like voices, but not like serial killer voices, but she can hear things. She's a little bit different than her friends. She falls into a time period in the past where this is known and kind of celebrated. She has no idea about basic life during this time period, but the men of her harem have like figured that out, and the one is protecting her. Yeah. And like craziness ensues.
You have some interesting characters, and a lot of the characters are all actual people who existed. One of them is a writer for yokai books, and the other one is actually someone who appeared in the Shinsengumi. You had Fujita Gora, a.k.a. Saito Hajima, is in this as a love interest, and he's very different than he was in Kenshin. He's more pretty boy.
I like it.
Then you have the one kid who sees ghosts and he's weird. You have the one author who's looking for Jane.
Jane!
Yeah. And on the other hand, you have the quintessential quintuplets, which I'll say it's about a guy who gets hired to tutor 5 girls in order to pass, and all of them are stupid, but they all have a heart of gold, or kind of. And this series has, I think, Girl of the Year, maybe? Or the waifu of the year, because Miku for the win! The middle sister is the best. Well, kinda, because the 5 sisters, each one is different, and, well, Miku's the favorite right now. Even though we're pretty sure, because of most harem conventions, it's going to be the youngest who's going to get him, which that's BS.
I don't know. I want, at different points, I want each one to be the one.
Because that's one thing that's interesting about the show, is that it opens up where you see the wedding, so we know that he marries one of them. We know this, but we don't know who.
Or when.
Or when. It's probably years from then. But
it's in the future.
We know he's going to marry one of them. It's not like maybe it's a dream. No, we know he's going to marry one of them. So we just don't know who it's going to be. And everyone has their favorites. I mean, a lot of people are championing Miku because she's the best one of all. But then you have some people like Itsuka, which is the one that I'm pretty sure is going to be the one that gets with him, who's the Sundry character. The mean girl who's sometimes nice. You have Yatsuba, who's also fun because she actually likes him, but she's just dumb as a rock. Would you say she's dumb as a rock, or?
No, that's mean to rocks.
Yeah, she's pretty special.
But she has a heart of gold.
And she's athletic. That's her specialty, she's athletic. Then you have the bitch, the Nino, who just...
is mean.
Yeah, she's pretty mean. And then you have the quote-unquote oldest sister, because they're all triplet, they're quintuplets, they're born the same day. But she's the one who's like the big sister.
Yeah, the birth order still fits.
Yeah. It's engaging, it's intriguing, and I've got to say, the art style is really well done. And every character has their own personality. And there's a lot of little sight gags, like them sneaking into the classroom with they're just wearing the stupid little ribbon.
Which is just endearing.
And it worked. It worked for all of them, except for...
the guy.
Yeah, it's just like, he's like, just you get
like, hi, good morning.
Yeah. So, besides those two, another series that is very well done is one I talked about in an earlier manga review. I'm talking about Promised Neverland.
Yes.
That I was surprised that it came out so well. It's focusing on the series. It's got great animation quality. There's no issues with it. And it is dark as hell.
It is dark.
But it's got minimal blood in it, and there's only 2 episodes where something happens. Everything else is just suspense, and it's your heart is pumping because just the atmosphere around it. Now, if you want to check out that episode, it is episode 285. And if you didn't listen to that episode, premises that these kids who live in a wonderful orphanage, which is great and amazing, find out that the orphanage is not as idyllic as they thought. There's a terrible secret, and now they are trying to escape from this prison.
It's a prison break.
It's 1 part monster movie, 1 part Great Escape. And every character is engaging and endearing, and the adversaries they have are...
horrific, and
also some you can sympathize with. They all have reasons why they're doing what they're doing, and it's not just as clear-cut as, I'm just a mustache-twirling villain. Where will it end? Will they escape? Well...
They have to. They have to escape.
We're going to have to wait and see. And where it's at right now, it's gotten pretty...
dark.
Yeah, it's a major setback at this point. But we digress. So... Another one that we want to talk about is one which, surprisingly, our cat, Maddie, really likes. Every time we turn it on, she
cannot get enough of it.
And the funny part about this is that I reviewed this all the way back in 227, which is like 2 years ago I talked about this manga. And now the anime came out. I didn't even know it was going to come out, but
it's awesome.
I'm happily surprised that it came out. The funnier part is that this series, the main characters, are my icon on Twitter. They've been my icon on Twitter for like 2 years, so that's crazy. And we're talking about Dokyu ni wa Hizu Tokidoki Atama no Ue, or My Roommate is a Cat. This is such a... Well, how would you describe this series?
It's so sweet. So, the main character is an author, and he just lives in a world of books. He is not a complete shut-in, but he doesn't understand the value of like other people outside relationships or going or traveling. He just wants to, like, his ideal would just be surrounded by his books, writing, reading, and just no contact with the outside world. But all of these people invade, and he accidentally gets this cat who just changes his life completely. And it's like, he learns about the cat learns about him. What I love about this series is that it's like a double episode every time. The first half of the episode is the episode and everything that happens that transcribes from the main character's point of view, and then it switches to Haru, who's the kitty, and then it's the same exact episode from the kitty's point of view, and she has a voice, and Maddie loves it, and
it's so whimsical and fun. It's a nice palate cleanser for a lot of the series that we see. It's a nice slice of life, and the opening theme is a lot of fun because it just focuses on the fact that he lives on the island by himself with books, and then she just smashes into his world, and then it goes crazy. It's funny because you see her thoughts of things and how things work.
And if you have a pet, you've given your pet a voice. You, like, have had a conversation at one point with your pet. Like, it's so relatable. It's not even funny.
I will say, I think it has some of the most bittersweet episodes, though, because of some of the things that you see, like the second episode where Haru is...
I may or may not have cried in that one.
Attacks the evil ghosts that are bothering our main character, and it's just like, and then you find out why the ghosts are there and what they want. It's so sad. It's like, I'm not, I wasn't crying. It was those onion chopping ninjas.
I was crying. You're stone.
No, it was those onion chopping ninjas that were bothering me. That's all.
There was dust in your face.
Yes, there was dust in my face. No, it's probably in our top 3 for the series that we love watching. It's a lot of... It is just one that you definitely have to see and check out. Now, another series that we should talk about that is another one that surprisingly was not on our radar, but a lot of fun, was Rise of the Shield Hero.
Oh my gosh, totally love it.
Which has gotten a lot of flack from a lot of people because of one of the little aspects of it, because it has a kind of Me Too movement moment, and people are getting really upset about that, because it's... The initial concept is a little rushed, but it's a good series, and Greta loves it.
But they, rushed it, but I kind of like that they rushed it, because it's get over it. It's horrible, it makes his life horrible, but you don't need to focus on that, because that's not what the story is about. You need that for background context, and you need to move forward.
Yeah, it's... Guy gets sent to another world, like most isekai stories, but this one he has become the legendary shield hero, which means he can't use any weapons, he cannot attack, he is a support character only, and all the other people treat him like garbage for some reason or another.
All the other heroes and the main kingdom, but he saves everybody's butt.
He's the guy that is there to protect. He's not selfish, but he's become jaded because of what's going on. It's led him to make some very questionable and not great choices. Like the one issue everyone has is that his support, because he can't attack anybody, no one wants to work with him, is he needs someone to attack for him. And the first person that he works with screwed him over, blamed him for something, and he has to find alternative means to get someone to defend him. So he gets let's get out of the way, he gets a slave.
Yeah.
And some people have issue with that, but
he's not mean about the treatment. If anything, it's the best treatment they've ever had. And she ends up being released and chooses to continue that style because she sees the value in him and his true character, even though nobody else sees it.
So it's more like she's his champion rather than his slave, and sometimes
she's more emotionally mature than he is.
Raptalia, the character, is fun. She's a Tanuki girl, and she's a little weird. But it's besides that part, it's a really good show. It's very inventive. It takes the whole isekai story and puts it on its head. Also, it's a pretty inventive show on the usage of using shields. Also, what's the other weird thing? Oh, the main quote-unquote antagonist, the spear hero, is a jerk.
Oh, totally.
And it's just, he's
pompous. I have a lot of words.
I don't think he's bad. I think he's being used. I think he's just too naive.
No, he's pompous.
But because he's listening to the one girl, and she's running things.
Yeah, but he could be better than that.
Yeah. So Shield Hero in our top 3, definitely. So
totally.
My Roommate, Rise of Shield Hero. So another one we're going to talk about, one which I've
been reincarnated as slime.
No. That's an older series, but one which is a little different is Price of Smiles.
Ah.
That is the obligatory mech series that came out, and it's dark as hell. I didn't expect it to be that dark.
For me, it's almost darker than Finding Neverland.
Because the whole first episode, it's like Promised Neverland, where it was like, it seems happy and sweet and nice, and then this one, it's more like the twist is really screwed up. The twist is screwed up, and then it gets a little better, but it's so jarring when you see the twist. It shows how people in power are never told the whole story.
Through no fault of their own.
Yeah, and it shows how both sides of a fight are compelling, and they could both be right. There
is no hero. There is no winning side. There is no upside. There's no clear-cut villain.
To quote Vash the Stampede, love and peace. That's what we need. We don't need war. Love and peace. It's an interesting war brigade. It's very militaristic. Kind of like it. So, let's see now. What else is on our list? Yes. Then we have one of their 2 romance series that came out. 2 series focused on love. And they're both high school shows, but one is very... I'm pretty sure that the girl would have been arrested for being a pervert. And the other series... What can we say about it? It's interesting because it's 2 people who love each other, but they don't want to admit that they're in love with each other. We're talking about How Clumsy Am I, Miss Ueno, and Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
Out of the 2, I like Love is War better.
Yeah, Love is War is a more compelling show, and Ueno-san, that show, it's a miniseries, so you could watch it in 5 minutes.
Crazy.
But it makes you feel really dirty, and I don't know who...
Uncomfortable.
I don't know who the demographic for this show is. I really don't.
If you know, comment and let us know, because I don't know.
Because Paul Chapman from... Greatest Movie Ever, he watched 1 episode and said the show was horrific, and I've got to agree, it's a horrific show. It's I don't know who it was written for. I mean, the only thing I could think
I like some pretty weird things, and I can't get behind this one.
No, the whole thing makes sense, though. It's a girl likes a guy, but the guy is too stupid to understand, and she has been driven to insane lengths to try to get him to like her, but she's gone
crazy.
Yeah.
Look up my skirt crazy.
Like, drink my urine crazy. Yeah. Now, Kaguya-sama, on the other hand, it's just that you have two people who love each other, but they don't want to admit they love each other. So it's become, I'm going to make them love me first, but then it gets...
Depending on the individual, it's either relatable to you early on in high school or in middle school. Or some in elementary school. There's no judgment. Like, it's like the first time you have a crush on somebody, they actually like you back, but neither wants to admit it first, and
you don't know if they like you. And it's fun.
And the inner dialogue that ensues.
It's fun because you have just the hilarity of they don't get... It's simple things that you think, oh, okay, this is very simple, but they take it to absurd lengths. It's like, okay...
I really like the secretary, too.
The secretary is hysterical. Chiyako, I think, is
she's awesome.
Another one of the runner-ups for Best Girl of Winter 2019, because she just is so crazy. Like, her getting them involved there's a game that she gets them to play because they don't want to do the job. So she says, okay, we'll do a game. And it's, you can't say the word that's on your forehead. So she ends up start talking in beat rap because she starts talking ghetto because she doesn't speak like ghetto and there's no way she can use a word that's ghetto.
Bah.
It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Or the time where she teaches the principal how to play volleyball, and then she's like, I raised him good.
She treats the president, you mean?
Yeah, the president. She trains the president to be a volleyball star, and she's like, I taught him well. Like, she's like, his mom.
She's exhausted, though, because it took so much.
She said, that's my boy. That's what she said. So,
but I like her. It's a cute show.
Cute show, a little overboard.
You have to get over the first episode, though.
There's a lot of dialogue in the show, though. There is a lot of dialogue. So if you don't like dialogue, you're not going to like it. Now, the last two shows we're going to really focus on, because there are some other ones that did come out. Like, one it's a dishonorable mention is Watashi ni Tenshiga. That is horrible, and it's only for pedophiles, let's be honest. It's about a college student who falls in love with a 3-year-old.
Just makes me feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah. There's Dimensional High School, which it's live action and anime mixed together, but it's like, let's just make it really cheap and use PS1 graphics. That was terrible. You had Koya no Kotobuki, the Magnificent Kotobuki, which CG and... We've come to the point where CG and anime can work simultaneously, where you have CG and 3D. But when you have it where every character... the main characters are in 3D, and everything else is 2D except the airplanes... That's stupid.
It's hard to watch.
It's painful. And then Rinsha Ekoto-chan, which is a cool experiment, but it's not great. It's a Josei Seinen series about a girl who, every episode she's naked and she talks about how her life is weird, and it's done by a different director, a different voice cast, every single episode.
Which is... an interesting theory, and I want to really like it, and I can't. I don't want to see this broken, naked girl.
Yeah, she's broken. It's like she has the boyfriend who's not her boyfriend because she doesn't want to break up with the other person and just wants to sleep with her, but she doesn't want to commit, and yeah, it's a garbage series. But
I mean, someone will like it. Someone will like it.
And like I said, that's a series where the one of the directors turns out is a sex predator. So it's like I don't feel comfortable even watching it. Yeah. Let's see now. Another series that we haven't talked about that we should talk about is Magical Girl Spec Op Asuka. I like this series. I think it's cool that they took the whole Magical Girl thing and twisted it on its head. But
it's bloodier than I want it to be.
It's pretty gory.
I feel like if there was more content with her real friends in the school,
it starts to get
so
there.
Basically, if it was a different anime show, I think I would really like it. It's not me.
Yeah, and every time that they do haha. Every time
we're 8.
Every time they show the good scenes of her with her friends, they have to immediately do something horrible, like have one of the friends kidnapped and then tortured, and then have fingers removed. And while this is really cool, and the Berserk fan in me loves it, it's...
I don't like it. I can't... I look away too much for it. I'd rather spend my time on something else.
It's different.
Like more of the Quints.
Now, the last one we're going to talk about is one which is, I think, arguably the best show of the season. And Studio Mappa did an amazing job working with Tezuka Productions on this. I'm talking about Dororo. We're going to talk about this more in a Dororo review because we're going to review the manga and the anime, but...
Still a little bit bloody. Still, like, parts that I, like, just... But that's me.
They captured the
But
spirit...
I like it.
They captured the spirit of the original Dororo manga and the concept of the man whose father sold him to demons and now it's him getting revenge. And it's done so well. It's so artistic, and some of the little nuances they do make it such an amazing show. We're going to talk more about it in the manga
I like
review,
it.
but one little touch I like is that he doesn't speak until the 8th episode. Well, technically the 6th episode, but the 8th episode is when he starts talking.
Not even talking. He just doesn't speak till then.
He's just saying little things, but it's a nice touch that he's not, I have superpowers and I could talk to you in your brain. No, he has to learn how to talk. It's not like how in Blackjack you had Pinocchio talking telepathically, which was actually in the manga. In the manga for Dororo, he speaks telepathically, but they take that out. They make this a little more realistic, a little more... What would you say?
There's a lot of nonverbal communication. And I don't know, it's really well done. You see things from his point of view, it makes sense. Dororo talks enough for everybody. There's just enough blood and gore.
And I like that Hyakkimaru is not, and Dororo are not the main characters. In the episode, every episode has a main character in it. The first one is his father. The second episode is the doctor that fixes Hyakkimaru. Later on, there's a whole section which is about Mio, this girl that is Hyakkimaru's first love. And that's a two-parter, which is compelling and tragic.
Sad.
And then the newest episode about Saru, well, Saru's a interesting, sweet and interesting and stupid character at the same time. And he likes eating
But
maggots.
that's what you want. That's what you want out of... Well, hey, they're protein packed. But that's what you want out of your anime series. You want somebody who's sweet, a hero that you love, that you can get behind, and a little nutty,
Very true. So that was the best one of 2019 for the new stuff. Now, we haven't talked about any of the old stuff. We're not going to really go too far into it. A lot of the sequel, because there were a lot of sequel series. I mean, there's Wiz, which is a sequel to Handholders, and that show, amazing soundtrack. But they don't tell you it's a sequel. You have to watch it. You have Mob Psycho Season 2. You have That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime still coming out. Also, One Piece is still coming out, even though they say they're ending it now. Kentaro's coming out still. You have Radiant. JoJo's is still coming out, but now we're at Story Arc 5, and now we're with Dio's son. So that even makes... It's not... Is it Dio's son, though? They say his last name's Dio, and his father technically is Dio, but he is Jonathan's son. So is he Dio's son or is he Jonathan's son?
I don't know. It's JoJo. It's crazy.
Yeah. And also there's the sumo show, which is really just why. I mean, it's cool to know that you can't be a Yokozuna or a sumo wrestler unless you're over 5'5". I didn't know that. It's kind of cool. See that one. The other one is Mew Mew Japan History, which is...
Another Maddie favorite.
Hey, seeing the Shinsengumi captain stuff his paw into his mouth every time makes me laugh. So yeah. That's pretty much... Oh, I mean, there's some other stuff. We didn't talk about Bogey Pop, but Bogey Pop, it's Bogey Pop. You love it or hate it. It's like watching Serial Experiment Lane. We could do a whole 2 episodes on it.
Yeah.
And Girly Air Force...
I actually am getting into it.
I think it's okay. I don't think it's great. Pastel Memories, that one, it's a twist on otaku lifestyle, but it just... nah. And And then there's Endro, which is, okay, the good guys won, so let's go back in time and try it again. But this time the bad guy's going to try to win, but the bad guy's now a cute little girl, and...
Ta-da.
Ta-da! Yeah. So the funny thing is, we were going to just talk about 10 of them, and we've ended up talking about all the stuff for this year. So...
But we definitely have our top 10.
Yeah. We definitely have a top 10, which is going to be... we said it was going to be... Rise of the Shield Hero, Dororo, My Roommate is a Cat, the Quintessential Quintuplets, Kyago-sama, Love is War, Domestic Girlfriend, which we didn't really talk about either. Domestic Girlfriend we didn't talk about. That one is realistic. Creepy, but realistic. Promised Neverland, Meiji Tokyo Renka, Magical Girl Spec Ops, and last and not least, we're going to be talking...
And this is in no particular order. We did not agree on an order.
Yes. Last one is going to be... Why did we put that one on there? I thought we didn't like that. But How Clumsy You Are, Ueno-san. Didn't we not like that one?
Yeah, that's not in the top
We'll just
10.
put Prince of Smiles, because that one's interesting.
Yeah.
So that's our top 10 list. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll be doing some more reviews of other stuff once the series seasons are done, maybe. And let us know what you think. XanSpiraken.com, or I'm going to try to get Greta at Spiraken.com up. Just got to pay a little bit of extra money to get that website up.
Ha! You'll still check the email.
Of course I'll check the email. I'll give you the password for it. But I digress.
Email us. Let us know.
Let us know. Catch you guys next time. And remember, watch anime, read more manga, and
Listen to our podcast.
Listen to our podcast. Catch you guys next time. We're gone, so.
Bye.